Hello, and welcome to The Logical Monk, the podcast where we decode the laws of cause and effect and ancient Buddhist principles through the lens of engineering, technology, and MBA business frameworks. My goal is to help you visualize these concepts logically so you can apply them to overcome challenges in your career and your daily life using pure reason and pragmatism.
In our fifth episode today, we are going to dive into the realm of aerospace engineering and physics. The topic is the unguided missile, decoding superstition and engineering faith into a formula for success.
Have you ever wondered why some people have this burning, relentless passion for their work? They are overflowing with inspiration. They believe in a project or an investment with all their heart. They go all in, pouring every ounce of their time and capital into it. But ultimately, the result is an absolute disaster. Imagine this with me. Suppose you are the lead engineer, tasked with building a multi-billion-pound rocket. You and your team have constructed the most powerful engine on Earth. It is loaded with high-efficiency propellant, ready to unleash massive amounts of energy to conquer gravity. Everyone in mission control is on the edge of their seats. The countdown hits 0. The engines ignite. A deafening roar echoes as flames erupt from the launch pad. Your rocket tears into the sky at an unbelievable speed. But just 15 seconds later, the rocket begins to tilt left. It wavers, goes into a terrifying tailspin mid-air, and suddenly plunges directly into a distant mountain, exploding into 1,000,000 pieces. All of this happening right before the stunned, devastated eyes of your team. The question is, what went wrong? Why did a machine with such colossal power fail so miserably? While there could be many technical failures, the one we are going to analyze today is a failure in the navigation system, the GPS. When the guidance system feeds incorrect coordinates or fails to process data efficiently, the greatest amount of power can become the most terrifying catastrophe. Life is exactly like that. Sometimes absolute confidence or faith without wisdom is simply an unguided missile heading straight for a crash. Today, we are going to decode exactly how to fix that. When we look deep into the structural engineering of a ballistic missile or an orbital rocket, the most critical components that dictate the success or failure of the mission can be divided into two distinct, inseparable parts. The first part is the engine and the thrust. The vast majority of a rocket's mass and volume is dedicated purely to fuel tanks and exhaust nozzles. To push an object weighing hundreds of tons out of Earth's gravitational pull requires an astronomical amount of initial energy. If we map this to human life, this thrust is what we call faith. Faith is confidence. It is the fire in your belly. It is the burning desire to succeed. In business management, if you want to build a startup or launch an innovation, you must have faith first. Without that belief, you will never take the leap. Your rocket will simply sit on the launch pad, rusting away. A brilliant person who lacks confidence and inspiration is just a rocket with an empty fuel tank. But thrust alone has never taken anyone to the stars. This brings us to the second component, the navigation system. It doesn't take up much space. It doesn't look as awe-inspiring as a roaring engine, but it is the mechanical brain, packed with sensors, gyroscopes, and altimeters. Its job is to process data, calculate exact coordinates, adjust the flight angle to counter wind resistance, and steer clear of obstacles. If the engine is faith, the navigation system is what the Buddha referred to as wisdom. Wisdom isn't just about having a university degree. It is the acquisition of knowledge, data analysis, and logical reasoning. Faith gives you the courage to ignite the engines, but wisdom is the steering wheel that guides you safely into orbit. So what happens when these two systems are completely out of sync? Let's find out. To help you visualize how faith and wisdom interact, I'd like to invite you to look at a fundamental concept in physics. In physics, we categorize quantities and energies into two main types: scalars and vectors. Picture this. A scalar quantity is something that has magnitude, but no direction. For example, you go to the gym and you step onto a treadmill. You set it to maximum speed. You exert a massive amount of effort. You're dripping in sweat, and you burn hundreds of calories. Your energy output is incredibly high. That is your magnitude. But in reality, you haven't moved forward a single meter, because running on a treadmill lacks a destination. A vector quantity, on the other hand, has both magnitude and a clear direction. Imagine taking that exact same energy and running on a real road toward a finish line. You know where your target is. You know which corner to turn and which potholes to avoid. The energy you expend translates directly into measurable forward progress. Now let's map this physics principle onto our own minds. When we have a strong belief or a burst of inspiration that hasn't been filtered through reason, our mental energy operates as a scalar quantity. You have a burning desire to be rich or to succeed quickly, but you have no idea what the correct methodology is. Igniting your life's engine with only a scalar quantity is practically an act of self-destruction.
The thrust is completely erratic. It cannot find a landing zone, and this specific state of mind is the root cause of a societal phenomenon that brings immense pain to so many people. What is that phenomenon? Let's unravel it in the next section. From the equation of scalar quantities we just discussed, we find the perfect explanation for a word often used as a weapon in modern society: superstition or blind faith. Many people today, especially those who pride themselves on logical thinking, often resist religious beliefs or rituals. What they see in society is a culture of being told to just close your eyes and believe. They see people begging the universe for wealth, or paying hefty sums for luck-enhancing rituals, expecting their business to suddenly boom or to pass an exam, without ever reading a textbook or fixing their business model. From a management or engineering perspective, this is the very definition of superstition. It is the attempt to demand an outcome, while actively refusing to build the practical causes that create that outcome. Superstition isn't about the supernatural. It is simply a psychological state where a human being is driven by faith, mixed with greed or desperation. They become so blinded by the desire for the end result that they willingly switch off their navigation system. They turn off their wisdom. When the desire for success outpaces patience, this blind faith takes over. It is the exact reason why highly intelligent people get lured into Ponzi schemes, chasing the promise of overnight, sky-high returns. They allow their faith in the profit to override reading the financial statements or conducting market analysis. Their life's rocket is ignited by greed. It shoots up erratically and inevitably comes crashing down, destroying their wealth and their pride. So how do we prevent our own rockets from suffering this fate? The answer lies in upgrading our onboard guidance system. To prevent a crash, we must place far more importance on our navigation system. In Buddhist philosophy, the most high-performance navigation system is wisdom. Many assume wisdom is reserved for scholars or those with PhDs. But in terms of practical survival, wisdom is simply the analytical process of seeing reality exactly as it is. If we compare it to corporate strategy, wisdom is the process of doing due diligence. It's the rigorous auditing you do before signing a massive investment deal. You open the spreadsheets. You background check the executives. You analyze the competitors. You stress test the risks. You do this to ensure your investment is grounded in reality, not just a daydream. The Buddha, who I often view as a master spiritual engineer, saw this human vulnerability very clearly. Therefore, he provided us with an operational manual for the navigation system, known as the Kalama Sutta. Its core principle is beautifully simple, yet profoundly powerful. Do not believe something simply because it has been repeated over and over. Do not believe it just because the speaker looks credible, or even if the logic sounds plausible on the surface. Instead, ask questions, run the prototype, do your own research, and observe the actual results for yourself. When you switch on this system of wisdom alongside your faith, a transformation occurs. Your rocket's energy shifts from a chaotic scalar into a laser-focused vector. Faith will give you the energy to wake up and grind every morning. But wisdom will tell you which task to tackle first, which project generates actual value, and which risks must be mitigated. This is how you merge energies to engineer tangible success. We have now arrived at the core architecture of this entire process. We have a powerful engine and a cutting-edge navigation system. The question is, how do we write the code? How do we tune the parameters so these two systems work in perfect harmony without overriding each other? In the logical monk, there is a specific equation designed to solve this exact problem. It is known as the 5 powers or Pankabala, the 5 dynamic forces that drive a human toward self-actualization. But the true mastery isn't just about having all 5 powers. It is the science of maintaining equilibrium between two main pairs. The most critical pair, the one we are dissecting today, is the balance between faith and wisdom. If a rocket has too much thrust, too much faith, and it exceeds the processing speed of the navigation system, it loses control and tears itself apart mid-flight. This is the symptom of the person who is too hot-headed. They refuse to listen to reason, stubbornly pushing forward with a flawed strategy. Conversely, what if the navigation system, the wisdom, is working flawlessly? It analyzes everything. It foresees 101 potential risks, but the engine has 0 thrust. There is no faith. That rocket simply becomes an expensive piece of metal rusting on the launch pad. In the business world, we call this analysis paralysis. You have all the data, all the knowledge, but you are so consumed by fear and excuses that you don't dare take a single step forward. A successful launch isn't about cramming in as much energy as possible. It is about calibrating the equilibrium. So, what is the instrument that fine-tunes this balance? Let's find out. The instrument responsible for maintaining this equilibrium is mindfulness or sati. If faith is the engine and wisdom is the onboard navigation, mindfulness is mission control. It is the flight director sitting on the ground, constantly monitoring the telemetry, the dials, and the gauges, millisecond by millisecond. Mindfulness is the system that checks if your mind is heavily listing to one side. Imagine you are about to wire a huge sum of money into an investment a friend pitched to you. Mindfulness is the red warning light that flashes on your dashboard. It makes you realize, hold on, I am getting too excited by the projected ROI. Greed is hijacking the system, and my wisdom has been switched off. Mindfulness hits the brakes, pulls you back, and tells you to open the prospectus and run the numbers again. Or on a day when you feel utterly defeated, terrified by the economic climate, too paralyzed to start your own business, mindfulness steps in and alerts you, your risk mitigation system is overheating. You are drowning in negativity and your faith has flatlined. Mindfulness helps you recalibrate. It reminds you of your core competencies, helping you slowly reignite the spark of confidence you see. In practice, mindfulness isn't just sitting cross-legged with your eyes closed, ignoring the world. It is active situational awareness. It is the agility to catch your own emotional and cognitive biases in real time, flipping the switches to keep faith and wisdom in perfect, dynamic balance. This is the hidden secret of ancient philosophy, a high-level, executive skill for managing your life and career in the modern world. We have reached the end of today's flight plan. From everything we've decoded today, the equation combining aerospace engineering with spiritual philosophy leaves us with a very clear, actionable conclusion. If we want our lives to launch forward stably, safely, and on target, we absolutely must upgrade our operational energy. We must transition from being a directionless scalar quantity into a high-precision vector quantity. I want to leave this final thought with all the young professionals and entrepreneurs listening today. Faith, confidence, and passion. These are your most valuable resources. Do not lose them. They are the only forces capable of giving you the escape velocity to break free from the gravity of failure, fear, and complacency. Keep your engines primed. But never, ever let that engine fire blindly. Every single time you ignite your engines for a new challenge, whether that's resigning to change your career path, investing your life savings into a startup, or even taking a leap of faith to build a relationship with someone, always remember to switch on your navigation system. Use wisdom to do your due diligence. Use logic and reason to weigh your decisions. And most importantly, use mindfulness as your mission control. Constantly monitor the dials of your own mind. Catch yourself when greed or desire starts to overwrite your analytical thinking. Remember, superstition isn't just about praying to statues. Investing without market research, launching a product without a business plan, or working yourself to the bone without ever strategizing a better way. That is simply superstition in a suit and tie. But when you finally master the algorithm, when you perfectly calibrate faith and wisdom, your life's rocket won't just have explosive power. It will break through the atmosphere and deliver you exactly to the coordinates of your success with absolute precision, safety, and grace. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Logical Monk. I wish you all a fantastic week. Enjoy igniting your engines, and may your navigation systems guide you flawlessly to your goals. Before we go, I'd like to leave you with a song from our channel, titled The Power of Faith, as a token of encouragement for your journey. Take care, and goodbye for now.
With passion shining like a light, but without a steady guiding hand, you'll crash before you reach the promised land. So calibrate your wisdom, know the way, let faith and reason light your way. Got that rocket engine burning bright, filled with passion shining like a light, but without a steady guiding hand, you'll crash before you reach the promised land. So calibrate your wisdom, know the way, let faith and reason light your way. Got that rocket engine burning bright, filled with passion shining like a light, but without a steady guiding hand, you'll crash before you reach the promised land. So calibrate your wisdom, know the way, let faith